What are your visions for IMI to meet the Saudi Vision 2030?
IMI vision is in full alignment with Saudi Vision 2030. And part of that vision is the localization of the maritime industries. Actually, several industries. One of them is the maritime. So we are in full alignment. We are trying to localize this very important industry in Saudi Arabia by building the second largest yard in the world and the first or the biggest yard in the MENA region.
What role is IMI playing in some of the giga projects that are part of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 plan?
We will be handling some of the maritime requirements as part of these giga projects. So currently, as we speak now, we are actually working on some of the requirements for these giga projects.
Where does IMI stand in terms of operation?
IMI is located about 200 kilometers from this place, north to Jubail Industrial City. We are part of King Salman complex of industrial, of international maritime industries and services. Basically, there are three companies there: IMI, McKean, and McDermott. But IMI is the anchor project for the whole complex. We have started receiving some of the areas within the IMI, basically the areas that will be used to construct and build rigs, offshore rigs. By the end of the year, we'll be receiving more facilities, and by mid of next year, 2024, we should be receiving all the facilities and start our full operations.
What steps is IMI taking to expand its presence in the international market and establish itself as a global leader in shipbuilding, rig building, and repair?
This is the only shipyard that has offtake agreements. We have already offtake agreements with Arrow Drilling, one of the Aramco JVs, and we have another offtake agreement with Bahri for the vessels. And that agreement setup is only 43% of our capacity. So we still have room to go for the external market capture in order to satisfy, the demand outside. And we are building for that sales plan, complete sales plan that will capture a lot of demand from the external market. So we go into events like Saudi Maritime Congress to meet with ship owners, ship builders, and yards, and major clients in order to capture some of the demand that are outside the offtake agreements.
What do you think are the main challenges facing the manufacturing of offshore rigs globally and the vessels?
Every industry has its own challenges, and in maritime sectors, I can maybe share 3 or 4 challenges. The first one is the human resources aspect. It's very challenging to get the right expertise and attract them to remote area, for example, for IMI. The second thing is the demand. There is no stable demand, especially for the offshore rigs. For the last several years, there were no offshore rig built, honestly. The third one is the supply chain challenge. Because of the type of the materials that we are using in shipbuilding and rig building, its magnitude and also the scale of that, supply chain. So it's very challenging to have that. And finally, the technologies and that we are trying to implement. This is very fast-changing technologies. We need to implement the latest in order to have our yard smart and to have our products smart as well.
So training is part of that as well?
This is correct. If you are talking about the HR component, it's attracting expertise and at the same time keep up with training and development for existing manpower.
What is your plan to develop the local expertise and localization plan in general?
We have signed agreements with local institutions, for example, the National Maritime Academy, the National Power Academy, SBSB, and NITI. And we have enrolled 2 intakes currently, and 2 intakes already graduated from these institutions. So approximately we enroll about 500 to 600 students every year in these intakes. Currently we have about 3,300 employees, but by year 2030 we should hit a number of 14 or 13,000 employees. So we have very aggressive plan to hire and also to develop our manpower. We have also a setup for the on-job training, especially with our partners, HHI, Bahri, Aramco, and Lambrel. We have managed to enroll about 700 employees in these programs, and at the same time we are setting up a new advanced training program for all of our apprentices who are graduating from these institutions.